This is Paul McGann, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast.
The tangents as we continue all the way to episode 346 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And whose name will be pulled out of the bag this time? Who knows? Who knows? Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you joined us. Let's start off like a do with the ritual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany and Troy.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
I just got back from a little vacation and I feel fantastic.
That's always a good feeling.
Food looked delicious.
Yeah.
I know. Some of those burgers, I'm like, I want to go where you went. Those
Dinner
look yummy.
I was in Tennessee, so.
And FYI, I'll take your pickles.
Yeah. Same. Too bad. I like pickles.
Pickles in the morning.
You and me both.
And then there's Alex who wants pickles for breakfast.
Hey, you know what?
I probably was that kid when I was younger.
You know what? Same.
There ain't no shame in that.
Nope. Hey, we facilitate it, so it's not like we're saying, "Oh no, don't eat pickles for breakfast, kid."
Yeah.
No, they're good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, there were kids on the track team who would drink pickle juice before a meet.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why I don't really drink pickle juice is because I was pranked when I was a kid, and someone told me I was drinking Mountain Dew.
Okay. If you're expecting one thing and you get another, yeah,
Fair enough.
Very much
When you're
understand
thinking
that.
it's soda and it's pickle juice, that's
Yeah.
not.
That's
You're
not
not
cool.
ready for that.
No.
Oh my. So, we don't have any news. It's been quiet.
Yeah,
Fairly
Watch,
quiet.
something will drop after we end tonight.
Probably.
Yeah,
or
there'll be
tomorrow morning.
a trailer or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, supposedly this week the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer is supposed to drop.
Oh,
That's gonna be what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll drop like 5 minutes after we hit stop on the recording.
Yeah. Or as soon as I'm like publish tomorrow, you know.
Mhm.
You're like brand new from Disney Plus. I'm like, really?
Apparently.
Yep. So well, whatever
Yes.
news drops after we record this, we'll just post it on Facebook and talk about it next week.
Yep. Maybe everybody's playing the Animal Crossing update.
Yeah.
Which
yeah,
it hit a day early. Well, the free part of it, the DLC didn't, but yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's been a trip. That's what I did this weekend.
Between
Between cleaning and yeah.
Because it sounds like there was oodles and oodles of
Oh.
stuff dropped.
Oh my gosh, I haven't even scratched the surface, but it's fun so far. And I'm like, I haven't ever quit playing. Like my sister, who has been playing literally since the game came out, she's still just going strong and just doing the whole thing, and it's we have a good time with it. So yay. So if you played Animal Crossing New Horizons and you put a pause on it for a while because you did everything and you didn't think there was anything else to do, you might want to log back in even if you didn't buy the DLC, because there's plenty of freebies, free update stuff to enjoy.
That's cool.
Yes, that's my short review of it, because I have no idea how I would review this at all.
Yeah.
Other than just going through what the Nintendo Direct video talked about.
Yep.
And I'm excited to garden.
Oh my. Yep, so quiet on the news front for now. Watch this space.
Right.
You just never know. So we'll move on to feedback. So we got some feedback from Shalane. Talking about Cars.
Yes. Indeed.
Among other things, she says, "Cool. The same actor who played Boba Fett's dad's playing Boba Fett." Yes.
Makes sense in
She
the
says,
story.
she said, hopefully we get some more information about how he escaped from the Sarlacc pit.
You know, given the way people have been talking about that one, I think they might just dedicate a whole episode to it.
Yeah.
That
Either that, or they'll just have people speculate, kind of like, how did Sherlock survive the fall off the building?
Yeah.
Oh,
we never get the true answer. We're just gonna get people's theories.
Yeah.
Or if they'll take
that would
the
be
short
funny.
story from the Tales of Jabba's Palace, because they did have a story about Boba escaping the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. So I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
Maybe this Christmas. This Christmas. No, too early for that. She says she also remembers the Buzz Lightyear Star Command TV show. So she thought it was okay. And she says it's cool that Pixar's doing an origin story about their characters. And she says, "What's next? A Doc Hudson movie?"
I'd be okay with that.
I'd be fine with that one.
Yeah.
Maybe they decide to. Although I don't know how they do it without Paul Newman.
Yeah.
And they could, but it seems like it wouldn't.
It just wouldn't quite be the same.
No.
That is true. But it's a good idea. Shalane is always coming up with good ideas.
Yeah.
Either for us or other people.
Pixar, Disney, why don't you hire her?
Yeah, really. She says Cars was good. She enjoyed it when she was younger. She thought Cars 2 was good. Thank you. Yeah, speaking of it, the cast, Bonnie Hunt, who does the voice of Sally. She's also done several other Pixar movies. Yeah, she wants to go to Cars Land.
Oh, you should.
At Disneyland.
I want to go back if I ever get the chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I may or may not have included an image of stuff and bread cones on TikTok. Promoting this particular episode, so she says she asked Chrissy, didn't you go see Happy Feet?
Yes, I did. Okay, let me answer
because
this.
of a Harry Potter trailer.
I did indeed. Yes, I did. And I'm not ashamed to own up to this, because I don't even remember which Harry Potter it was. Maybe it was
that sounds like second.
No, the second one, because Happy Feet came out in 2006. It might have been like the fourth or fifth one, but I was in college and I went because that's just sort of what I did. And it was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go to this movie because I want to see the Harry Potter trailer. This was before, the trailers would drop on the internet and everyone could see them. But yeah, so I went to it, and I think I even went and saw Scooby-Doo one time because I wanted to see a Harry Potter trailer. Hey, I'm owning up to this, so you know what?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, I didn't like. I mean, at the end, Happy Feet was kind of blah. Just the ending was preachy and obnoxious, but yeah, I did. So what?
Hey, people have done stranger things for other things. So I can't remember what movie it was. I had a piece of trivia on IMDb. I want to say it's something that we've reviewed recently, an old, slightly older movie that people specifically went to because like the first like Star Wars of the new trilogy was going to play before it, and people wanted to see the trailer.
I remember that. I do not remember the movie though.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I mean that was a thing that they did. Okay, kids, back before YouTube and Facebook and all these things was a thing. The only place you could see trailers for big movies that were coming up was in the movie theaters. So studios would attach trailers to movies that they didn't think were going to do that well, so that people would at least buy tickets if all they wanted to do was go see the trailer. You still paid the full price of the ticket. I mean, and I'm really not one that would, watch the trailer and then leave, because I'm like, I paid all this money, I'm going to see a movie. But yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing you did.
And not very often would you get the movie trailers on TV. That would only happen like during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like they're little short TV spots, but not the big long 2-minute trailers. So yes, I went and saw Happy Feet so I could see the Harry Potter trailer. I went and saw Scooby Doo so I could. I
don't even remember the Harry Potter trailer before Happy Feet, because I saw Happy Feet because my mom wanted to see it.
Yeah. Like
I didn't see it in theaters.
She was like, "Oh, a penguin movie. I'll stay awake for this one."
and now I need to ask Jared if he's seen, because he loves penguins. I don't know if he's seen Happy Feet, but he he was going to go be a marine biologist because he loved penguins so much. He even has like half the credits to get a degree in marine biology, because the math tripped him up, so he went into English instead. But yeah, I don't know if he's seen Happy Feet, but I know he's got like all the Madagascar and Penguins of Madagascar stuff. And oh my gosh, we went through yeah, we went through all his stuff in the basement, just cleaning stuff out, and there was like a big tote just full of stuffed penguins. Of all sizes and shapes and all kinds of stuff. It's adorable. And now Alex and Lottie have, and like last time we went to the aquarium, because we got Alex his penguin. Well, it was Jared's penguin first, and Alex kind of adopted it, so we got one for Lottie, a little pink one. And yeah, they love their little penguins. So now it's like penguins, yay. Anyway, we got
the family tradition continues.
Yes, it does.
It's genetic.
Yes, it is.
Now the question is, unlike a certain, speaking of Sherlock, can Jared pronounce the word penguin?
He does just fine.
That's good. Well, he's got a leg up on Mr. Cumberbatch then.
Yes, he does.
That.
How did Cumberbatch pronounce penguins or something?
He just yeah, go on YouTube, look it up. Benedict Cumberbatch, even though he was in like the Madagascar penguin like spin-off movie, he cannot say the word penguin.
A freshwater stream through the forest makes a handy highway for a parent penguin heading home from a fishing trip.
The funny thing is, you don't do this in isolation. You have a team of natural history experts based in Bristol, funded by you, the tax-paying public. It's not just me sitting there at a booth going, I think I know how to say penguin. I'll say penguins. It's mortifying, but there are other people who should take some flack, including my producer.
But did no one at the end of the thing, could we just try the word penguin again?
Maybe. Maybe they just gave up. I honestly don't know.
But then what I love is, in the way that life is, how special that Benedict is now starring as a wolf in this film. So can you say it now?
Well, I've had a word with Disney. I need to check that I have said it correctly in the film.
Penguin. Gwyn.
No, penguin.
He was a pretty good sport about that whole
Yes.
can't say penguin. It's funny to watch. So yeah, go check it out if you can find it. I'm sure you can.
Oh yeah, yeah. Then like talk shows and people would be like, "Say penguin."
No.
He's got kids now, so he has no choice in the matter.
Yes.
So, okay, back to Shalene's feedback.
Sorry, we went
That's
on
okay.
kind of a
Yeah.
we went on a detour there.
Yeah, I do like penguins. She says her favorite Mater Tall Tales is Tokyo Mater. Which that's a good one too. So yeah. Cool. Well, thank you, Shalane, for your feedback as always. And we'll move on to this week's main topic, which we are going back to pulling names out of the proverbial hat because Rachel was on vacation and therefore would not have time to prepare anything else.
Also, I got to think about it. We've done a lot of research heavy topics lately. So like, let's do something
Yes, where we have
nice
to do the research
fun.
right then and there.
Yeah.
Yes. Whatever you can pull up on Wikipedia or
IMDb,
IMDb.
Wikipedia.
But it's still fun.
If they happen to be on social media, you know.
Yeah,
So,
go pull up their Instagram or whatever.
yeah. So all righty then. So let's see who we got here. Still a lot in here. So oops, stuck together as always. always stuck together. All right. Okay.
Oh boy. This sounds interesting.
This should be fun.
Oh boy.
All right. This actor, American actor, among other things, but mostly an actor. He's also a producer. Widely, according to his Wikipedia entry, widely regarded as one of the most popular actors of his generation. The films in which he has appeared have collectively grossed over $27 billion worldwide, making him the highest grossing actor of all time when cameo appearances are excluded.
So was that million or billion?
Billion.
Okay.
Not adjusted for inflation.
Okay.
So born in Washington, D.C. In 1948. He's an only child. He grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, though. Although he was mostly raised by his mother.
I think I figured it out. Is it Samuel Jackson?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh wow! I was like, because I was like thinking cameos. Someone who does cameos, like not Stan Lee.
Yeah. No.
Who Captain Rogers would have quite the issue with the language.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. He is
He did
a bit
book that
known
had
for
swear words in
his colorful language.
Yes.
So,
which is funny when you see his movies, edited for TV, and it's I'm tired of these melon farming snakes on this melon farming plane.
Exactly.
That's what they use. That's how they use it.
Yes, that is. Let's see. I've heard melon farmer. I've heard. Oh, what was the one? like you dirty rotten something. Now I can't remember, but Melon Farmer was always the funniest one because I'm just like, what?
Very funny. That is hilarious. So what's interesting is I watched, if you have Curiosity Stream as a streaming service, which you really should if you really like documentaries and nonfiction related stuff. And as far as streaming services go, it is really cheap. It's like $20 for like the year.
Oh wow, that is a good deal.
Yeah. But they've got a series called Beyond the Spotlight, and they take a celebrity and talk, and it's kind of biographical, but it's really short. They're like, less than an hour long. And Samuel Jackson is one of the ones on there, and I just watched that recently.
Nice.
So I learned quite a bit about his early life growing up, and he was born in Washington D.C. but grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee. But his father took off, was an alcoholic. Only met him a couple times. So he's most raised by his mother and his mother's parents, so his maternal grandparents. After he went to several segregated schools, because again, he was born in 1948. So you got to figure the time period that Samuel Jackson grew up in.
That was a thing.
Yeah, so he went to segregated schools, ended up graduating high school in Chattanooga. He played several instruments in school. He had a stutter. Yeah.
You would never know that these days.
Yeah.
It's
partially the reason why he curses. It's a way for him to get past the stutter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
As an actor, all actors kind of have to have a good command of their speech patterns, but he has a very distinctive voice and like what it sounds like, and what it, I don't know, just a very distinctive cadence, and I'm like, wow, it just kind of floors me when I hear stories about people who had, speech impediments when they were younger, or anything like that, and then that's, as they get older, they work on it, and then that's what they're known for later in life. I'm just like, it's very impressive to me when people can, say, oh yeah, I had a stutter, and I'm like, wow, yeah, that's awesome that you work so hard on it. Now it's actually one of your strengths.
Yeah. So we graduated high school, and he went to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, which I believe is a historically Black college. It's a private HBC. So and he joined a local acting group just to earn extra credit in class. And he realized he enjoyed it so much they ended up switching major because he was going to be a marine biologist. Yeah. So the thing was, though, because he was going to school, going to college at an HBC in Atlanta during the Civil Rights Movement. So he actually, if I remember correctly, some of the people he was going to school with knew Martin Luther King Jr.
Sweet.
So they were in kind of some of the same social circles. So when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 1968, and they had, his funeral, Samuel Jackson was one of the ushers.
Interesting.
MLK's funeral. So he had been out of town and had to come back to be able to do that. But yeah, I was like, that is wild.
Yeah.
So, and he had met his girlfriend, who would eventually become his wife, while in college. She he tried to impress her. She wasn't impressed. But eventually she came around, and they've been married since like 1980.
Nice.
So yeah, they've been married for quite a long time. He founded an acting troupe, and eventually they moved out to Los Angeles, and started working. Actually, they went to New York City first, doing plays, but they had like they were living in New York City because even back in the 70s it was super. New York City's always been expensive, no matter what decade you're talking about. So it was like him and his girlfriend at the time, and like a bunch of other people that they knew that have gone on to become well-known actors, like Morgan Freeman. Like they ran in the same acting circles, just trying to get gigs and plays in New York City. And it was so he did mostly off Broadway, although he ended up doing a couple of plays on he was going to do some plays on Broadway, but ended up getting replaced because he developed an addiction to alcohol and cocaine in the 70s.
The 70s.
Yep. But then it was in the early 80s that he met Spike Lee, and that gave him a connection. So he had some minor roles. He appears in Do the Right Thing, among other things, other films. And then he went to rehab in the 90s and ended up doing the movie Jungle Fever, where he plays a crack cocaine addict. But he said that was actually quite cathartic. He ended up getting a special award at the Cannes Film Festival for that role. And of course, he's in Jurassic Park.
One of our family's
Hold
favorite
on to your
characters.
butts.
Yes,
That gets quoted
And
a lot
Nedry's
around
our
here.
nemesis.
Yeah. Hold on to your butts gets quoted a lot around here.
Yeah.
Same
with my family, especially my brother. I don't know what it is, but he loves that line.
Yeah. Well, you get to say butt.
Well, of course.
Exactly.
Like Finding Nemo. Touch the butt.
Touch the butt. Yeah.
Touch the butt.
Touch the butt.
Yeah. Then in 93, he appears in the film True Romance, which was written by Quentin Tarantino. So there he meets Quentin Tarantino. Tarantino asks him to play Jules Winfield in Pulp Fiction. And from there, the Samuel L. Jackson, I think most people know, kind of took off with Pulp Fiction, which I have seen. It's one of 2 Quentin Tarantino movies I've seen. And he's actually very good in it. So, he's, for being essentially a, kind of a mobster type, whatever, he delivers some of the funniest lines in the movie. Stealing the guy's Big Kahuna burger. He's like, "This is a tasty burger." Yeah.
Looks like me and Vincent caught you boys at breakfast. Sorry about that. Did you have it?
Hamburgers.
Hamburgers! The cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast. What kind of hamburgers?
Cheeseburgers.
No. Where'd you get them? McDonald's, Wendy's, Jack in the Box, where?
Big Kahuna burger.
Big Kahuna burger. That's that Hawaiian burger joint. I hear they got some tasty burgers. I ain't never had one myself. How are they?
They're good.
You mind if I try one of yours? This is yours here, right? Yeah. This is a tasty burger. Vincent, you ever had a big kahuna burger? Want a bite? They're real tasty. Ain't hungry. Well, if you like burgers, give them a try sometime. Me? I can't usually get them because my girlfriend's a vegetarian, which pretty much makes me a vegetarian, but I do love the taste of a good burger.
That got him a Best Supporting Actor nomination for the Academy Awards, and also Golden Globe nomination, and ended up winning the BAFTA for Best Supporting Role for that. So, so yeah, so from there, I mean, he had some not so good films, but then he did Die Hard with a Vengeance, which is the third Die Hard movie.
Talk about an odd couple that works.
Yeah.
Well, every actor has a few movies that they're like, we don't talk about that here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in the Sharon Stone, Dustin Hoffman movie Sphere.
I vaguely remember that one.
That was on our short list of movie potential movies for our Oscar Academy Award contest win.
Yeah, because I think it was the Sphere was by the same guy who wrote Congo, if memory serves.
He was who wrote the book?
Michael Crichton.
Crichton, yeah.
Who did Jurassic Park?
Yep.
Well, they can't all be winners.
Yeah.
I remember really wanting to because I read the book and I liked the book. So I went to see the movie. Or when I went to watch the movie, I'm like, oh, this is not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So be forewarned. That's still a possibility as a punishment.
Oh boy.
For somebody, not for us to bestow on someone else.
We'll
keep it. That's more like it.
We'll keep it in our back pockets.
Yeah. He's also in the movie Deep Blue Sea. He gets eaten by a shark. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Well, did he get eaten by a
It's him
dinosaur?
and LL Cool J. There's two black men in the movie. One of them has to die. It ends up being Samuel L. Jackson. LL Cool J gets to survive. There you go. And then, of course, he's Mace Windu in Star Wars in the new trilogy.
Well, that one, he did like an interview, and he's like, well, yeah, I'm a Jedi. I have to die because all the Jedis are going to die by the end of this, but just make sure I don't die like some punk.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he said in an interview, he claims that he didn't even have a chance to read the script and didn't learn exactly who was playing until he was fitted for his costume.
Wow.
But he said really he just wanted a chance to be in Star Wars.
Don't blame him.
Do you blame him?
And now that character is like
up there.
Yeah, it's like big. He's is a big part of the Star Wars universe. Just as far as like there's the movies, but then there's the shows, Clone Wars, and the comics and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely.
And a good number of the fandom that still is trying to figure out how he could have survived that fall out the window.
Well, if Palpatine survived, Palpatine's pretty powerful, but Mace Windu he's no slacker.
Yeah.
And Darth Maul survived his little. So
so stranger things have happened in the Star Wars universe.
Yes,
this is true.
At this point, we would be like, okay, yeah, I accept that.
Okay, yes, more Mace Windu.
Yes, please.
I mean, they're all in the same. He's he's Nick Fury, so why can't they say, "Hey, come down the hallway and let's film some Star Wars."
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So, June of 2000, he was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Ooh.
And then he is obviously he is in the Unbreakable movie with Bruce Willis, which would eventually spin off into 2 more movies. He started the 2000 remake of Shaft.
Yeah.
Apparently it was his suggestion that Mace Windu's lightsaber be purple.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, because he didn't want to just be one of the crowd, and now it's like, okay, there's purple lightsabers, there's yellow. Well, I think yellow is from the video games, but yeah, it's not just blue and green, guys.
Yeah,
and there's not that many purple lightsabers out there in the movies. That's which is cool.
And then, speaking of, again, Pixar, he's the voice of Frozone.
That's right.
Yes.
Where's my super suit?
Honey!
What?
Where's my super suit?
What?
Where is my super suit?
Put it away!
Where?
Why do you need to know?
I need it!
Don't you think about running off to doing no daring do? We've been planning this dinner for 2 months.
The public is in danger!
My evening's in danger!
You tell me where my suit is, woman! We are talking about the greater good!
Where is my super suit, woman? And I have to say this, because it's not that I forget that he's Frozone. It's that he plays that role so well, and that you don't really, because like I said, he has a very recognizable voice, but his recognizable voice, it doesn't sound like a celebrity voicing a character. Like sometimes you'll get these animated movies and they get like, oh, these big name celebrities voicing these characters, and so you hear the celebrity rather than the character. But I just hear Frozone. I don't necessarily hear Samuel L. Jackson, which is actually a good thing.
Yes.
When you have an animated movie, especially like with Incredibles, because a lot of the actors in that movie do the same thing. They disappear into the character, and they're just, it's the character and not the actor. Which I always like, oh yeah, he's Frozone. And not that I forgot that he's Frozone, it's that I don't hear Samuel L. Jackson when I hear Frozone. Which means he did his job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. January 2006, he was honored with a hand and footprint ceremony at Grauman's Chinese Theater. He's the 7th African American and 191st actor to receive that honor. 7th African American, that seems awfully low.
It does.
Let's see, and then 2006, he did Snakes on a Plane.
Which has reached legendary status in the meme world.
Yeah.
That line gets parodied a lot.
Yes, it does.
Let's see. Yeah, he does voice Mace Windu in the Clone Wars cartoon. In the movie.
Yeah, it's someone else in the show, but he is the voice in the movie that they did.
Yeah.
And the person I forget who does him in the show, but pretty good likeness.
In 2002, he gave Marvel Comics consent to design their ultimate version of Nick Fury after his likeness, because up until that point, Nick Fury had mostly been portrayed as a white guy and played by the Hoff in a really bad live action adaptation. So he technically has been Nick Fury since 2002 ish, in a way. But yes, in 2008, obviously, the world and movies as we know them changed forever with not only the first Iron Man movie, but the first post-credit scene with him coming out of the shadows as Nick Fury, name dropping the Avengers, and therefore immediately saying, this is not going to be a one-off, this is going to be a thing.
Jarvis, welcome Holmes.
I am Iron Man. You think you're the only superhero in the world? Mr. Stark, you become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
Who the hell are you?
Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Huh.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
And since then, he has appeared as Nick Fury in I don't know how many of the Marvel movies.
A lot.
Not quite all of them, but
yeah,
pretty close.
Yeah. Well, he signed to a 9-picture deal with Marvel.
Whoa.
So that he would appear in Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America: First Avenger, The Avengers, as well as any other sequels they would produce, obviously. And then he was Captain America: Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, because Nick Fury, quote unquote, dies in Winter Soldier, but not really.
No, he got better.
Yes. Yeah. Age of Ultron. So by Age of Ultron, he had only 2 movies left in his contract. But then he appears in Infinity War and Endgame, and obviously as a younger version of himself in Captain Marvel. And then he's also appeared on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a couple of times.
Warning Coulson against the aquarium.
Yes. Letting the team destroy perfectly good S.H.I.E.L.D. equipment. But if it wasn't for Nick Fury and Project Tahiti, we would not have got Coulson back.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
He made that decision, and we are all grateful and greater for it. So
I recognize the committee has made a decision.
Yes.
But it was actually a very good decision. No, I actually quoted that during a staff meeting last week. I don't think anybody cottoned on to it.
I would have been like Captain America. Like, I understood that.
I got that reference.
Yes. Yes, you guys would have.
I say that all of the time. When anybody makes a dumb decision, like, I recognize that you've made a decision. Given it's a stupid ass decision, I have elected to ignore it.
Director Fury, the council has made a decision.
I recognize the council has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I've elected to ignore it.
I can't even remember what it was in reference to. Probably something our admin team did or said or something, and I'm like, or something that some committee said, and I was like, I recognize the committee has made a decision.
As an administrative professional, we are not all that dumb.
Oh no, I'm just saying.
Yes.
Just in this one particular instance.
Yes. Hashtag not all admins.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And then obviously he was in Spider-Man: Far From Home.
See.
Well, his face was.
I was gonna say.
I mean, it was Samuel L. Jackson, but yeah,
it wasn't exactly Fury.
Proper Nick Fury does appear in the post-credit sequence, so
Yeah,
he still does appear as proper Nick Fury, and we're likely going to see him again.
Yes,
probably in the Marvels, considering how the way WandaVision ended for Miss Rambeau, and how she's been called out of town for work.
Yeah.
So
out of town is out of galaxy.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think he may have fulfilled his contract, but I'm guessing we're not done seeing.
To paraphrase a certain mob movie, I'm sure they can make him an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah. Well, and also considering he did come back, to voice Nick Fury in What If.
That's true. Yeah.
So and
like
he is
contracts.
And he's supposed to
Contracts
appear
can
in
be
Secret
renegotiated.
Invasion as well. So
Well, there
we're
you go.
we're not done seeing him as Nick Fury.
Yeah.
At all.
Just because one contract ends doesn't mean they can't, redo it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and he came back as Frozone in Incredibles 2. Among other things. So yeah, he's done a lot of like voice acting stuff.
Well, and maybe just sort of, I mean, he is getting older. I didn't realize he was 72.
He looks good for 72.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. But it's like when you get older, you're like, I'm not gonna go be jumping around and dodging car crashes and stuff. I'll just take this.
No, he's just gonna do the Capital One credit card commercials.
Yes, that too.
What's in your wallet?
What's in your wallet?
Podcast is not sponsored by Capital One, but if it was,
can you get us Samuel Jackson's contact information?
Yes.
We could do
It's just his, not John Travolta's. Sorry, but his
What's
Santa
your
Claus,
podcast?
His Santa Claus in the Capital One commercials is creepy.
Yes. And that's the picture they use for the.
Yeah. Just in case that Disney Marvel money, somehow like dries up. He's got the Capital One.
I will say this, I haven't watched like regular TV in forever, and when I do, like when I'm home or when I'm back home at my parents' house and they're watching something and ads come up, I'm so thrown because I just don't watch ads anymore. But then but when I when one does pop up and it's Samuel L. Jackson, like, okay, I can listen to you for like 30 seconds. Better than some of these other goobers that I'm like, oh gosh, you just shut up. But no, he's and it was funny when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was on Hulu and they did it where because I had the ad-free account but so Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. you had to watch an ad at the beginning and an ad at the end, and so many times it was a Capital One commercial with Samuel L. Jackson, and I'm just like,
nice.
That works. I'll take it. It fits.
Yeah, it was like, well, he may not be in this particular episode, but hey, it's Nick Fury anyway. So
Right.
Sure.
Oh my. According to throughout the 1990s, according to AC Nielsen, a box office tracking company, determined that Jackson appeared in more films than any other actor who grossed $1.7 billion domestically.
Wow.
By 2011, the films that feature Jackson as a leading actor supporting co-star have grossed a total of $2.81 to 4.91 billion at the North American box office. This placed him as the 7th highest grossing lead actor and the 2nd highest grossing actor behind only voice actor Frank Welker. In the 2009 edition of the Guinness Book of World Records, which uses a different calculation to determine film gross, has stated that Jackson is the world's highest grossing actor with 7.42 billion generated across 68 films, and that was in 2009.
Holy cow!
Wowza!
That's
So Hollywood, if you want butts in seats, hire Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, and when he's not making bank, he and his wife Latanya, like I said, that they've been married since 1980. They do a lot of charity work, which is kind of the big focus of that episode on Curiosity Stream. That they they've got different Hollywood friends and whatever that they've come to them for support, financial support, write checks and that sort of thing. But in 2009 they started their own charity to help support education for minorities, and so they've been doing that for quite a while. So that's cool. And unlike other Hollywood actors, Jackson says that he will actually watch his own movies. Because there's a lot of actors out there, they don't like to watch their work. Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
Which I can understand. Because I don't particularly like watching myself. I mean, I'm not an actor. I can barely listen to my voice again on the podcast, and not because I don't like I don't want to listen to the podcast. It's like, oh, my voice, I hate the way it sounds. So
same.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's understandable. As someone who does the editing and therefore has to listen to the entire thing.
Oh, I know.
I get it. So,
but
yeah.
But
apparently he also likes to collect the action figures that are related to the characters.
I saw that bit and I'm like, that is so cool.
So
now,
can't get your hands on that Mace Windu action figure? Well, too bad. Odds are that Samuel L. Jackson has it.
Mm-hmm. See if Mr. Jackson doesn't have one stuffed somewhere that you could.
It's like, can we trade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and let's see, what's some other interesting things. Apparently he has a clause in his contracts that allows him to play golf during film shoots.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's also a big basketball fan, and apparently is a avid supporter of the Toronto Raptors and the Harlem Globetrotters. I think everybody supports the Harlem Globetrotters because they're fun.
Yeah. they're not so much a team as they're performers, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, the Toronto Raptors thing kind of surprises me just because it's
dare to be different. Support the one team that's not in the United States.
I suppose so. It's just like he's not from there as far as I can tell, but sure. I mean, heck, the Raptors beat the Golden State Warriors a couple of years ago, which means that we finally didn't have a LeBron or Golden State team that won the finals. So yay for parity in the NBA. So I'm not criticizing him for liking the Raptors. I'm just saying. Interesting choice.
Apparently, he was in a interview in 2009. But this link is not valid. The Windsor Star, apparently, May 10th, 2009. Raptors provide Jackson's action.
I'm going through the trivia on IMDb, and this one made me laugh. Has the rare distinction of having played characters that have been eaten by both a shark and a dinosaur.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Yep. So, cool. Samuel Jackson. Yep. And then if you want some entertainment, not for the kids. Most of his stuff's not for the kids, though. He did the audiobook version of "Go the F to Sleep." So.
Yep.
And then did the updated version during the pandemic of "Stay the F at Home."
Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, that picture book is
"Stay the F at
firmly-
home" and shop online using your Capital One credit card.
Yeah, that I was gonna say that picture book is shelved firmly in the grown-up section.
Yeah.
Of the library.
Gee, I wonder why.
Why?
Yeah. That one, I do remember some conversations when it first came out, like, what do we do with this one?
Gee.
It's like, it's a picture book, but I was like, just put it in the 800s. It's not necessarily fiction, but 800s, that's where like poetry and plays and stuff like that goes. So it works. It rhymes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I remember there being some rhyming to it. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, not child appropriate, but I may have to get myself a copy when I have dogs and use that when they're not cooperating at nighttime. They don't know.
No, they don't. They think, why are you saying that to us, Mommy? Does that mean treat? Does that mean pets?
Yeah,
What is it? What is it?
Especially if you say it in a sing-songy voice.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're reading to them, it's your tone of voice.
Yes. It's not until they learn what the words mean.
Exactly.
Because now I have to be careful about what I say in front of my children.
Yes. Okay. Are we ready for another one?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's go to the next one.
Okay. Oh my. Well, this should be the fun we're having, the names coming out of the thing tonight.
It's always fun to see like who, which two we end up with. It's like would these have ever been paired up in any context ever?
I don't know if these guys have ever worked together. I don't know. It's another guy.
Okay.
English.
Okay.
Birthday of April 17th, 1959. Graduated from the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. He is from Handsworth, which is a suburb of Sheffield, which, sorry, I do not know my English geography, so that doesn't mean much to me. Sheffield. They do get aliens in Sheffield, according to Doctor Who. He has a younger sister. His paternal grandfather served in the Royal Navy in the Second World War. His father owned a fabrication company. I don't know if I have much else I can tell you without giving it away. Apparently, as a child, he smashed a glass door, which left a piece of glass embedded in his leg that briefly impeded his walking and has left a large scar.
Oh.
Apparently, that stopped him from pursuing his ambition of playing football professionally.
Is it Matt Smith?
No.
Oh, dang it. I remember that being a thing where he was.
That's a little too
We've already
old.
done Matt Smith, so
That's what I thought, but I was like, I don't know.
yeah, no, we've already done Matt Smith.
Is this actor in one of our bigger tentpole fandoms?
I don't know if you call it tentpole.
Okay.
But it is definitely a decent sized fandom.
Okay.
I would say secondary tentpole.
Okay.
Not quite Doctor Who, Marvel,
Okay.
but still up there.
Okay.
It's like the one thing he's known for, if I can't say because
we get it right away.
We would know, yeah.
Yes. He's done Shakespeare, of course, because he's
Well,
English.
you're
I was gonna
English.
say
That's not giving anything away.
Wait, yeah.
Let me think.
He's done productions of Romeo and Juliet, Midsummer's Night's Dream, Midsummer Night's Dream. So
Have we done Patrick Stewart?
Yeah.
No, but that's not him.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
He's older than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be like as soon as we find out, like, oh right, we should have.
Let's see. Ian McKellen's done Shakespeare.
Too old.
Okay, still too old.
1959. So this person's only in the early 60s, which again, they look kind of good for considering his age.
I know I've had to like completely rewrite my concept of how old people are when I see them because I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He graduated with O levels in art and English. He worked for a time at a supermarket that eventually went and worked at his father's place.
Gosh. Why am
Although
I
he did
blanking?
study welding.
Let's think. I am like I have forgotten every English actor
During he became an established actor on British television in the late 80s and early 90s.
I've got a possibility. Does his character usually get killed off?
Maybe.
Is it Sean Bean?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good job, Holly.
I just did a search. Sheffield actors. And one of the top ones, Sean Bean. I'm like, let me see.
Yeah, because otherwise I was gonna be like, well, this guy dies a lot, but that's immediately giving it away.
That would be like, oh, we know exactly who it is.
Yeah, I was like, I wouldn't call Game of Thrones a tentpole fandom. I would say it's B level tentpole fandom.
Lord of the Rings.
Well, secondary made sense.
Secondary, yeah, Lord of the Rings. I mean, Lord of the Rings is so big, but we really haven't covered it a whole lot.
No,
This is true.
So, but yes, Sean Bean.
Well, I was
AKA
close
Sean Mark Bean.
I I was close with Ian McKellen because I was like thinking, okay, Lord of the Rings, maybe. But,
Right, franchise, too old.
yes.
But again, at 62, I think he looks pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, he's
that old?
62?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, his hair. I mean, okay, his hair doesn't look like he dyes it because you, especially blonde, you can kind of tell when it's been dyed. But I'm like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, seriously. Okay,
so
so
the man who dies a lot.
yes.
Yep.
In
And
fact,
it's a celebration when his
the
character
meme-
doesn't die in a movie.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. It's like I saw him. What I'm trying to remember what movie I saw him in. I think it was National Treasure. Like I'm sitting there watching it. And he's the bad guy in that one.
Yes.
Okay, it's Sean Bean. He's got to die. He's gonna die, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't get sent to jail.
He gets sent to jail, but
Yeah. Well, what was it? The what movie was it? Crap. That you had told us about, Chrissy. I can't remember it now, but you're like, no, he doesn't die in this. Jupiter Ascending. That's what it was.
right. Okay, that was
Yeah.
no. Okay, it wasn't. Okay, yeah, it wasn't National Treasure. It was Jupiter Ascending. Now that you said that, I'm like,
Yeah, you're like, Sean Bean is in this and he doesn't die.
right, because because in that movie, oh gosh, I blocked that movie out of my mind because it's kind of terrible. But but yeah, because he's like one of the guys from the planet that the girl is really from, or something, or whatever it is. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's toast. This guy's toast. And it's like, oh no, he actually lives to the end of the thing. It's like, well, that's notable.
Yeah, so he did, like I said, he did a lot of bridge television in the late 80s, early 90s. Apparently he did a BBC production of Lady Chatlery.
Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
Wait a minute. I gotta look up something here.
So, fun
It's
fact,
1993. So
he and Samuel Jackson were in a movie together.
Oh,
I don't
really?
think- I've never seen. Yeah, in Patriot Games.
Oh, that's
okay.
right. Because he plays the guy that goes after Harrison Ford's character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it wasn't this. It wasn't. I thought Lady Chatterley was the one with Alex Kingston, but no, it's a different one.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing, and now I'm like completely blanking on.
Yeah. This is Jolie Richardson was the
Yes.
the lead. So apparently he appeared in a Sky Sports commercial for the upcoming 97-98 Premier League season. And apparently it's famous. I don't know why though. It doesn't say. So I guess since he can't play football, he's done stuff football adjacent. Because he narrated a FIFA World Cup film in 1998. So he became he ended up playing the character of Richard Sharp, a maverick Napoleonic Wars rifleman in the ITV television series Sharp, which apparently is based on a series of novels about the Peninsular War.
Which I have heard really good things about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I would go like work at the jail's library, which anyway, like they would like the inmates there, they would request those novels like a lot. There was that one and another series, and I was like, okay, what is this? And it had like Sean Bean's face on the cover because it was the tie-in one.
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't gotten to watch it, but it's one of those, it's just like, I want to see this because it looks good. And like if you watch Master and Commander, it's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's a show.
Yeah, there's a whole like series. So they started with Sharp's rifles, which is the first of the television dramas, as he rises from the ranks as a sergeant, promoted to a lieutenant while in Portugal, to lieutenant colonel by the time of the Battle of Waterloo. Interesting, Sean Bean was not the first actor hired to play Sharp. He ended up replacing the lead, who ended up injuring himself playing football 2 days into filming. That person was Paul McGann.
Oh my word.
Which, you know, at the time, Paul McGann was like really into, you know, he was like period pieces and that kind of thing. And yeah, that makes sense. But now that I'm like, I think Sean Bean works better for Sharp.
Yeah. I just think it's funny that Sean Bean replaced Paul McGann.
I know,
Paul
it's like
McGann injured himself playing football.
I know. I'm just kind of like, okay.
What is it with these actors that they can't just they see a soccer ball and they just can't help themselves?
Yeah.
Well, when you're
Thing.
English,
Must touch, must
yeah,
play.
When you're an English bloke, I guess.
Yeah, it's like little kids. They see a button, they got to push it.
Exactly. But the button probably isn't going to break your leg or whatever the injury was.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
To quote Ringo in the Yellow Submarine cartoon movie, like, I can't help it, I'm a born Liverpooler.
And they like to go after the fiendish thingies.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but he would go on to do Sharp's Challenge and Sharp's Peril in 2006 and 2008.
Now that we're talking about it, like, okay, I need to go watch that. It's just too bad our library doesn't have the Acorn TV streaming thing, because I think it was on that one.
Yeah.
Before we had to get rid of it. Anyway,
he started to make the role to Hollywood movies, actually a little earlier than that, and I do not remember him being in this, but I wouldn't have known who he was at the time anyway. Apparently, he plays Lord Richard Fenton in the Scarlet, which is the god awful sequel to Gone with the Wind who plays Scarlet in that?
Joanne Whaley Kilmer.
Yes, yeah, and Timothy Dalton plays Rhett Butler.
I'm gonna say this. I didn't know that was a sequel.
Never seen it. It's awful.
I didn't even know they made a sequel.
Yes. It's a TV miniseries, but yeah, it's essentially it's a sequel to Gone with the Wind. So
if you have access to BritBox, Sharp is available.
There you go.
That's probably the only place it is, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and FYI for those who would want to watch.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, and yes, he is in Patriot Games. And apparently Harrison Ford hit him while filming that, giving him a scar.
And he hit him with a boat hook.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ow.
Yes.
Ouch. Yep. Yeah, that'll leave a mark.
Yeah.
Quite.
Oh, but I know him best and first from GoldenEye, one of the best James Bond films ever.
Yes, it is. Yes, and not in no small part due to Sean Bean's character in that movie, because the character he's a fellow MI agent. It's 006, and you know he's purported to have been killed in action or missing.
Yeah, because that's what they're supposed to do, because they're kind of like the Mission Impossible people, where they will deny. So it's like, if you get captured, sorry, you're SOL.
Yeah,
mission must be completed.
Yeah, so and then Bond feels bad because he could have saved him, or they were friends and things, and then 006 shows up again, and he's like, oh yeah, you should have saved me, and now I'm evil. Now I'm evil because it's a Bond movie, and that's how it goes. And
Alec? Back from the dead. No longer just an anonymous star on the memorial wall at MI6. What's the matter, James? No glib remark? No pithy comeback? Why? Hilarious question. Particularly from you. Did you ever ask why? Why we toppled all those dictators, undermined all those regimes? Only to come home. Well done, good job, but sorry, old boy. Everything you risked your life and limb for has changed.
It was the job we were chosen for.
Of course you'd say that. James Bond, Her Majesty's loyal terrier, defender of the so-called faith. Oh, please, James, put it away.
It's insulting to think I haven't anticipated your every move. Yes. I trusted you, Alec.
Trust? What a quaint idea.
How did the MI6 screening miss that your parents were Leon's Cossacks?
Once again, your faith is misplaced. They knew. We're both orphans, James. But where your parents had the luxury of dying in a climbing accident, mine survived the British betrayal and Stalin's execution squads. But my father couldn't let himself or my mother live with the shame of it. MI6 figured I was too young to remember. And in one of life's little ironies, the son went to work for the government whose betrayal caused the father to kill himself and his wife.
Hence, Janus. The two-faced Roman god come to life.
It wasn't God who gave me this face. It was you, setting the timers for 3 minutes instead of 6.
Am I supposed to feel sorry for you?
No. You're supposed to die for me. Oh, by the way, I did think of asking you to join my little scheme, but somehow I knew 007's loyalty was always to the mission, never to his friend. Closing time, James. Last call.
Yes.
But yes, it's one of.
But he ends up falling to his death.
Which, bad guy in a Bond flick. Kind of
like you do.
Yeah, kind of par for the course. So that movie death is not unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, later, let's see, where are we?
Lord of the Rings,
which is where I first knew of him. So he's always going to be Boromir for me. And it's interesting because I had read the books before I saw the movie. I have become a little more well versed in them since then because I was only in high school when the movies came out. And it's sort of like, because in the book, Boromir's betrayal, quote unquote betrayal, kind of comes out of nowhere. But in the movie, they build it up that he's gonna do this.
Yeah, that he's being tempted by the ring.
He's being tempted.
Yep.
And it kind of, there's like this conflict between Boromir and Aragorn, because Boromir, he's like, yeah, we defended the city, we defended Gondor, like, where have you been? All these kinds of things. And Aragorn, he's supposed to be king. And it's just kind of really interesting, like the dynamic between the two of them. But I love, and you have to watch the extended edition for this. I love the scene in Return of the King. Pretty sure it's Return of the King. There's a scene where they flash back to the last time Faramir saw Boromir, the brothers. And, you're just like, oh, you are so adorable.
Yeah, there's flashbacks in Two Towers and Return of the King, and there's a scene in the extended edition of the Two Towers.
Oh, Two Towers. That's what it was.
Yes.
I was like, because when I said Return of the King, I'm like, no, wait.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's
like, I only watched the extended version, so I couldn't tell you what's in the theatrical cuts.
Yeah, same. I think I haven't watched the theatrical cut since they were in theaters.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember which one it is, but I'm just like, oh, I love that scene. So yeah, it's like one of my favorites. Also, Faramir is one of my favorites in the books. Same. He's okay in the movies, but yeah,
as good as an act. Sean, I haven't read the Lord of the Rings books. They intimidate me.
Understandable. I'm not. I would never dig against anyone for not reading the books, because they are a bit of a they're a challenge.
This isn't Sean Bean's problem, but the fact that his brother gets done dirty by their dad just because Boromir happens to be the favorite child.
Yes.
That's not Boromir's or Faramir's fault. Speaking though,
Denethor's a dick.
Yeah, he is. Speaking of Boromir and Sean Bean. Years ago, they had a traveling exhibit for the Lord of the Rings with like props and models and all sorts of things, which was very cool. So they had like Gandalf's cart with the seats separated with the forced perspective, so they could take your picture, and depending which seat you were sitting in, you either look like Gandalf size or Hobbit size, which is really cool. And they had like if you've watched the behind the scenes stuff on the extended editions, what Richard Taylor from Weta calls bigatures, because they're not miniatures by any means, bigatures. So they had like the bigature for like the tower that Sauron
Orthanc
and stuff. Anyway, one of the props that they had is the boat, canoe, whatever, that they put Boromir in after he dies, to send him off to whatever the equivalent of the afterlife is in Middle Earth.
Well, yeah.
But
they couldn't really bury him with orcs running around.
Right, yeah. So,
They took the little ones. He's down. Frodo. Where is Frodo? I let Frodo go. Then you did what I could not. I tried to take the ring from him. The ring is beyond our reach now. Forgive me. I did not see. I have failed you all. No, Boromir. You fought bravely. You have kept your honor. Leave it. It is over. The world of men will fall, and all will come to darkness, and my city to ruin. I do not know what strength is in my blood, but I swear to you I will not let the White City fall. Nor our people fail. Our people. Our people. I would have followed you, my brother. My captain. My king. Peace, son of Gondor. They will look for his coming from the White Tower, but he will not return.
but the canoe, or whatever I call it, paddle boat, I don't know. I was going to call it a really fancy canoe.
I think that's what the elves called it. You know, their canoes. Anyway,
but obviously they're not going to send Sean Bean in it to just
down the river.
Down the river. So they made a wax figure, and this wax figure is in the canoe in the museum display. It is creepy. How realistic it is.
Yes,
Well, it's
I've been to
supposed
the
to be a
museum.
funeral pyre, basically, or
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know,
Mhm.
but it's just like how well they did, replicated Sean Bean, and just you walk up to the display case, and there's this big fancy canoe, and there's this essentially dead Sean Bean in a glass case.
Academy Award-winning Weta Workshop.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
I know. I just remember seeing that, and I'm like, this is just like it was just creepy.
It's like, oh wow, they really did kill him this time.
That's kind of what it felt like. So, that and also, if you watch all the behind the scenes stuff and you see how Sean Bean really hates helicopters.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like
would
he would climb
refuse.
those mountains.
So he would literally take a ski lift and then climb several miles in full costume with shield and sword and everything up
And
the
then
snowy mountain.
And then he has to, do the scenes and act after doing that. I'm just like, dude, just take the freaking helicopter. Seriously.
Like talk to a physician or something. Get yourself a Valium or something that will still let you act once you get there. Not that I blame him, because I refuse to get in helicopters because they terrify me too. So I can't say I blame him, but it is kind of funny, especially considering they have footage of him from the helicopter climbing up the mountain, dressed as Boromir with sunglasses on. Because
I'm just like, I hope they it's like they should have filmed that as, I don't know what they could have used it for, but it would have been great to have in the movie. It is on the special features. On the extended
and
DVD.
and then talking about how they'll film Boromir's big death scene with him with Vigo, and they'd film his coverage, and then they break for lunch. And you're like, yeah, I'm in the middle of doing this amazing scene and dying, and then I go off to lunch. I'm like, eat my sandwich, and then okay, time to go and shoot Vigo's coverage. Okay, digesting my sandwich while still got to die again. So it's like,
I'm dying. Yes. Oh, movie making is such an odd thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Sometimes you just. I wonder the people who are in it, they must just sometimes just sit back and be like, what in the world am I even doing?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
but
and then of course he played Ned Stark in Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Where he gets his head cut off.
Yes.
Partway through the first season, and everyone went, "What? You hired someone of the caliber of Sean Bean, and then you cut his head off?"
Well, if you read the book,
yeah.
Well, yeah, you read the book, but even in the book, you're just like, why did you you didn't need to do that? But because the dummy went and talked and told Cersei what he knew. It's like, no, you don't tell the witch.
Yes.
What you know, you just go public with it.
That only works if you're the bad guy. You only get to do the monologue and tell them everything you know when you're the bad guy.
Yes. I know.
Then they could justify getting your head cut off.
Yeah. I read the first book and I'm like, dang, this is crazy. And then it just, got boring and I quit.
Yeah.
And in subsequent books. But the first book is really good. If really, what the F?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Anyway, but no, Sean Bean is that part is perfect for him, and it was cool seeing him. I did watch a few scenes and a few episodes of the show, and I'm like, dang, this is such a good character. Why does he have to die? I like him. But oh well. And then also, I will mention he was in Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief, which, as an adaptation, that movie is not great. But he plays Zeus, and he's kind of awesome, and I like him as Zeus. I'm like, here, let's make a movie about Sean Bean playing Zeus. Can we do that? I'll watch it. Just forget all this, demigod, half-blood camp kid stuff. Let's just, you play Zeus. and do Zeus things. I know Zeus was kind of a a man whore and all that, but it'd be interesting. Someone do a movie of that.
Yeah. He also appeared in The Martian. He didn't die in that one either.
That's true. That's another one that I was like, "You're in this? I thought you were supposed to die, and
Yeah.
you're not the one stuck on Mars."
Yeah.
Maybe he's like branching out and doing other things.
Yeah.
Like, how about we typecast you where you don't die in the first 5 minutes?
Yep.
The show he's in, I kind of want to see. It sounds interesting. Called The Frankenstein Chronicles.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing advertisements for that.
It's on Netflix, apparently.
Yeah. Apparently, most people consider him down to earth. And a man of few words. He has described himself as quiet. With one interview calling him surprisingly shy. He admits he can be a workaholic. He reads books or listens to music in his spare time, and is a skilled pianist. He's also a keen gardener, welder, and sketcher. He was also in a 2018 poll for Yorkshire Day. He was ranked the second greatest Yorkshireman behind Michael Palin of Monty Python.
Well, there you go. And yes, he does have quite the distinctive northern accent.
Yeah, the Yorkshire accent. Yeah. Yeah, and in 2019, in a interview, he said that after being killed 23 times on screen,
Of course,
and it becoming essentially a meme, that apparently now he will no longer take roles where he dies.
Probably for the best. I mean,
I kind of don't blame him for that.
Yeah, because apparently people were calling him a walking spoiler.
Yeah, I was gonna say like yeah, when I saw Jupiter Ascending, it's like, oh, this guy's dead. because it's Sean Bean. It's like, okay, it takes all the suspense out of it.
Yeah.
And I I've had occasion to think about that. I'm like, I'm sure he's
there's an image on here that somebody made cataloging all of his deaths and how he died.
Oh
I remember, I've seen that. I know what you're talking.
It was like all the times he was shot, and then all the other interesting ones. So Game of Thrones beheaded, Golden Eye crushed by a burning antenna.
Lord of the Rings, he gets arrowed a gazillion times.
Shot with arrows
and still fights.
Yeah.
Until Aragorn comes and kills Lurtz.
Yep.
I mean, every time I see that scene, I'm just like, dude, you're still going. It's like, if this isn't a redemption, then I don't know what is. Because he's protecting Merry and Pippin. I'm just like, oh,
yeah,
you poor man.
That's funny though. So,
apparently he was considered for the role of Hank Pym in Ant-Man.
Well, he wouldn't have died.
This is true. That would have been interesting. I mean, Michael Douglas does just fine. I mean, he's good as Hank Pym, but I'm like, ooh, I would have been interested. I kind of want to see that now. Sean Bean for the MCU somewhere. I don't know where. There's a what if episode for you.
They'll find a way to stick him in there eventually. So it's only a matter of time.
It seems like everybody is making their making efforts to get there.
Yeah, some more interesting than others, but we'll get to that next week when we talk Eternals.
Oh my.
Oh, I lost it.
So, of course, he's got the fellowship tattoo.
Yes.
Like all the rest of them do.
I love that. That just makes me happy when I think about it. Anytime I think about Lord of the Rings,
Well, I
I'm
should
like,
say almost all of the fellowship has. Apparently, John Rhys Davies doesn't, but his stunt double got it instead.
yes. Well, John Rhys Davies is an interesting case there because a lot of his stuff, had to do with they had to kind of like green screen him in because dwarves, and John Rhys Davies is like 7 feet tall or something. Maybe not that tall, but he's a tall man.
But math wise,
yes,
they didn't have to like do anything with his proportions. Like proportionally, he still works.
Yeah,
compared to everybody else.
Yeah, against the hobbits and stuff. But
watch those. Get that extended edition, folks.
Yes, and if you haven't watched it in a while, make some time, clear out your schedule, take some vacation from work, and sit down and watch it.
I was gonna say, I watched it over the summer. I'm like, I'm itching to watch the movies again.
Yeah, it's about time. It's usually something I do in the wintertime. Is watch the my lovely Lord of the Rings extended edition box set. I love it. But yeah, Sean Bean, the man who used to die a lot, but apparently now has decided that will no longer happen.
which is nice
if he can help it. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Which is nice because it's like,
I guess if a role is really, really good enough,
yeah,
he might acquiesce.
Yeah, because like I said, like he's a good actor. He's fun to watch. He was also a walking spoiler, and it was more of a shock that he didn't die.
Yeah,
but because at this point in shows and movies and stuff, it's like the whole this character died is like it's been done so many times. It's like so, but then you put Sean Bean in something and don't kill him off. That's the twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I can't speak for well, I guess the GoldenEye video game and the Lord of the Rings video games, those are going to go how they go, but I can't say how he does in some of the other video games where he's done voices for, like Elder Scrolls 4. So
right, yes, he does that too. So yay, Sean Bean.
Apparently, according to IMDb, his favorite death is Bormios because you couldn't ask for a more heroic death.
I was gonna say because it was heroic.
Yes, especially after he almost attacked Frodo trying to get the ring, and then Frodo ran off, but then then the next minute he's defending Merry and Pippin, which I love because there's a scene earlier where they're like where Boromir is teaching the hobbits how to fight, and then it kind of devolves into like a they're play fighting and a wrestling match and just having fun, and it's like it's like they just have this, because in the book you kind of get the feeling that, I mean, the way Tolkien characterized a fellowship as these are all friends and comrades in arms and things like, and it takes them a while to get there, but by the end of it they're like it's a true fellowship in every sense of the world. It's a brotherhood, and then the movies like had to show that to an audience, and just like it's like there's that, and I don't know if they like wrote it in there originally in the script or if it's something they kind of threw in while they were filming it, but just that they had Boromir basically playing with the hobbits and being friends instead of just we're going to learn how to fight, you're going to be soldiers, and then he dies trying to save them from the orcs, and it's just like, oh, these movies are just so awesome the more I think about them. Oh, one day we may have to do several podcasts about Lord of the Rings.
I mean, Fellowship of the Ring did come out 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
This month or
So
next month? I can't remember.
It's
if it was
next
November,
month
December.
because Harry Potter came out in
Yes, Harry Potter came
November
out.
of
That's right.
01 and Lord of the Rings was a month later.
That's right.
So yes, it's been 20 years. Who feels old, guys?
I graduated high school 20 years ago. So, yeah. Funnily enough, both of those fandoms wasn't really into yet.
My mom called me in sick to school so I could go sit in line for tickets for Harry Potter because I asked her to, and I didn't have anyone go with me. I just went, and I was reading.
You have an awesome mom.
Yes, I begged her, and I just went and bought tickets because I wanted to make sure I got them. I probably didn't need to do that, but there were a lot of people waiting too. And the local newspaper actually took my picture as on the front page. I was sitting there reading the third book, and it's actually one of my favorite pictures of myself because I'm looking down. I need to find that again.
I was given those tickets, like a pre-order thing, because my family did like gift exchange Thanksgiving, and that was what I got was a ticket to go see Harry Potter when it came out. I remember that now.
Yeah. So, if we need topics next month, I don't know if we will.
I don't think we do. Maybe early next year when we're in the post-holiday slump.
Okay, maybe then. Anyway, we'll see. Well, anyway, there's Sean Bean. We love him. He's in some really awesome movies and plays some awesome characters. Now I need to go watch the Sharp series because
too.
Years ago I was like, I want to see this, and I just never got around to it.
I didn't hear about it tonight, but that does sound like something really cool, and I'm gonna have to...
I mean, it's not like fantasy or anything, but it's historical fiction, and Napoleonic Wars is kind of an interesting time period to
it is, yeah,
to learn about and sort of things. It's sort of like the World War II of the 19th century, I guess, if you want to kind of put it in context of when what that time period kind of meant for the history of that particular part of the world, and for the world as a whole. It had a pretty big impact on humanity. So,
and the entire time you're watching it, you'd be like, this could have been Paul McGann.
Yes, that too. Well, if you want Paul McGann in a period piece, go watch Our Mutual Friend.
Yeah.
Which probably, the miniseries probably makes more sense than the book. Don't tell Jared I said that.
Well, then who knows? Maybe if Paul McGann had, hadn't injured himself, maybe then something, I don't know, maybe it would have tied up his time for other things. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he wouldn't have been in the Doctor Who movie. Who knows?
Well,
we don't have a the sacred timeline and the we don't have Owen Wilson trying to fix the the divergence in time. So
we don't need Doctor Strange coming and fixing quote unquote time.
Everybody is where they should be.
Yeah. We'll see that in a month.
Well, yes.
They released a new poster for Spider-Man No Way Home, and it looks like that the release date for next month will be sticking, hopefully.
Okay, then.
So this is the timeline we're in.
Yep.
Sean Bean dies 23 times.
Well, I for one look forward to seeing his new chapter of his career as a
walking spoiler.
Yeah, non-walking spoiler. So I appreciate that. Anyway, I also want to go watch GoldenEye again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Great Bond movie, great video game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Anything else anyone wants to say? I think we're good for our names out of a hat?
I think we're good. Those are two good ones.
Yes, they are. Well, anyway, if any of our listeners have anything they want to talk to, anything they'd like to mention about either Samuel L. Jackson or Sean Bean or both, that's totally cool too. Send us some feedback. Our email address is fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also go to our website, which is the5ishfangirls.com, to find all of our show notes, all of our links, all of our social media stuff, and all the ways to support the podcast. We have a merch store, our Amazon store. The holidays are coming up. If you're trying to get some shopping done early, visit our website, then go to Amazon, and that'll help support us. And again, we thank you for listening. We thank you for your support, your comments, your feedback, all the ways you interact with us. We are very appreciative of all of that, because it's fun to get that sort of that feedback, like, hey, people like us. You really
It's nice
like
to
us.
open inbox and be like, you have new mail, and it's not like spam.
Yes. So everyone, take care and keep doing what you're doing. Stay safe out there.
For those of you in the parts of the country where it's going to start getting cold and icy and all the things that I hate about living in the Midwest, take care.
Yes, bundle up, and like the little sign at my work that has been up since like year round about being safe out in the snow. Waddle like a penguin when you're out on the ice.
Yep. All right. So with that PSA,
yes. I always it always just cracks me up. It's July and I'm seeing this. I'm just like, really? Anyway.
Yep. So with that, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Troy saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
Holly? She's muted.
Oh.
Oops, sorry. This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening. Sorry, thought I wasn't muted. Ay.
That's okay. Happens to the best of us. And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. And it's nighttime, so I'm going to follow Samuel L. Jackson's, orders and go the F to sleep.
Listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. You can find more episodes and information at thefiveishfangirls.com. Any and all books, movies, games, and any other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied. If you wish to support the show, the easiest way is to leave us a rating and review. More ratings and reviews will make it easier for others to find the show. If you wish to support us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/fiveishfangirlspodcast. All money goes towards fees and equipment to keep the show going. For official Five-ish Fangirls merchandise, visit redbubble.com/people/fiveishfangirls. We love hearing from our listeners and encourage feedback. You can email us at fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/fiveishfangirls. Thank you so much for listening, and may the squee be with you.